Game 1 of the 2025 Stanley Cup Final was exciting to watch. It was played at Rogers Place in Edmonton and was the start of a rematch from last year's final where the Panthers won in 7 games. In the first period, Leon Draisaitl scored early, giving the Oilers a 1-0 lead. The Panthers responded with goals from Sam Bennett and Brad Marchand. In the second period, Bennett extended the Panthers' lead to 3-1, but Victor Arvidsson cut it to 3-2 for the Oilers. In the third period, Mattias Ekholm tied the game at 3-3 with a slap shot, assisted by McDavid, leading to overtime. In overtime, a Panthers delay of game penalty late set up Draisaitl's game-winning power play goal, assisted by McDavid for a 4-3 Oilers victory. Leon Draisaitl's play was pivotal, scoring twice, including the overtime winner. Connor McDavid's play was a big factor in the game as well. Finally, Sergei Bobrovsky made 42 saves for the Panthers, which was a standout performance despite the loss. Here's how fans reacted to the game. Avalanche Forever writes, "The Edmonton Oilers is Canada's team." Zoo writes, "Need the Oilers to win this cup." Jimmy writes, "Great win, Edmonton Oilers." Beto writes, "Glad Oilers came back to win the game. You have to take home court advantage in this series and learn from past mistakes." Sheldon writes, "Character come from behind win for the Oilers in Game 1. Terrific." Ryan writes, "Huge win for the Edmonton Oilers in Game 1. Let's bring the cup home. Just like our beloved Oilers, I believe in teamwork, dedication, and a strong community spirit. Let's channel that winning energy right here in Lethbridge." Gutter writes, "All I want for the remainder of the playoffs is 3 more wins for the Oilers." Default Positive writes, "As a Boston Bruins fan, who am I supposed to root for in the Stanley Cup Final? As much as I'd love to see Marchand get another cup, I'm going with Edmonton. McDavid deserves a cup, as does a cold-weather Canadian city. I'm sick of Florida." One fan writes, "Puck don't lie. Oilers are inevitable." Andrew writes, "The Florida Panthers decided to play rope-a-dope after getting a 3-1 lead tonight. The Oilers took advantage and came back to win it." Avi writes, "The Florida Panthers' fourth line was not good tonight, so it is fitting that Nosek is sitting in the penalty box for the GWG." Joel writes, "I speak for every NHL fan when I say, please do not let the Panthers win." Michael writes, "Edmonton deserved to win. Florida looked gassed from the second period on." Hotel Arts writes, "Oilers win, Edmonton on top. Get ready to become the 11th province, Florida." CJ writes, "That was the best game of the playoffs. Unreal overtime. What a win for Oil Country." Kyle writes, "Okay, Oilers. What a start to the Stanley Cup Finals." Cam writes, "Felt like the Cats were trying to contain too much. Oilers got 14 more shots on goal with the same amount of hits, 51. Turn up the aggression and, respectfully, this series can end quickly." The Oil Rig writes, "Florida was 31-0 when leading after the first or second period in the playoffs under Paul Maurice. They are now 31-1. Captain Jack suggested the game was rigged against Edmonton, writing the Florida Panthers." Top line of Gary Bettman, Wes McCauley, and Francis Chiron have been absolutely dominant tonight. Paris writes, "First and last Oilers win for the playoffs." The Associated Press summarizes the game writing, "Leon Draisaitl scored on the power play in overtime. Stuart Skinner made 29 saves as the Edmonton Oilers erased a multi-goal deficit to beat the defending champion Florida Panthers 4-3 in Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final rematch." Polymarket Sports writes, "The Oilers come back and beat the Panthers in double overtime. They're now 66% favorites to win the Stanley Cup for the first time since 1990. One fan considers flipping teams, writing, "May switch my alliance from the Cats to the Oil. We'll see where my heart takes me this cup. No dog in the fight." Seeing that McDavid emotion was nasty, kind of like watching him lose the 2. There was lots of talk about Leon Draisaitl, with Real Sports posting, "Leon Draisaitl has 3 overtime goals this postseason, tied for the most in a single playoff run ever." Gabriel writes, "Draisaitl for the win. Panthers blew a 3-1 lead in this game. 1 down, 3 to go to break the curse." Jeff writes, important to remember that Draisaitl was hurt last year in the final. Didn't even score a goal in last year's series. Him being at full force this year is a massive game changer. Instead, Florida has a hurting Tikachuk this year. There was praise for Edmonton Oilers player Kasperi Kapanen. Millennial Falcon praises Kasperi Kapanen, writing, Kasperi Kapanen looked great out there last night. What a waiver pickup by Bowman. 5 points in 8 games. Brings speed and throws his body around in a way that maybe only a couple of other players on the ice can match. Great story. Matt praises both Kapanen and Bouchard, writing, that Kapanen move reminded of Nylander, former teammates BTW, possible X factor moving forward. And what the heck was that move from Bouchard? Wild seeing that from D-Man. World Hockey Report praises Podkolzin, writing, imagine being the Vancouver Canucks and Rich Toche in the stands, just saying Vasily Podkolzin isn't good enough for us. There was also praise for Oilers goaltender Stuart Skinner. Gus writes, major credit to Stuart Skinner, who was really good when he had to be. Greg writes, what a hockey game. Slick play by McDavid on the GWG. The Kasperi Kapanen renaissance must be acknowledged. Stu huge when needed. My nerves are shot, the way it should be. Some fans defended Panthers goalie Bobrovsky. Cam writes, man, Kelly Hrudey is a tough crowd, says Bobrovsky's got to make that save on Draisaitl's overtime game winner. That was a rocket off a bingo bango bongo play from Perry and McDavid. Hell of a goal. I'd give goalie Bob a pass on that one. Kayla writes, I'm all seriousness. This is going to be a hard series if Bobrovsky keeps playing like that. There was also praise for Edmonton Oilers player Evander Kane. Millennial Falcon praises Evander Kane, writing, a healthy Kane is such a difference maker. That hit on Ekblad really highlights it. He's so impactful out there. These hits are going to wear down the Cats' defense. Millennial Falcon also writes, saw a Time to Hunt fan complaining about Kane and said that Tikachuk was going to get him. I guess he didn't watch the Battle of Alberta series from a few years ago. Matt doesn't want anything to do with Evander. Steven writes, Evander Kane didn't have any points in this game, but his mark was all over it. The guy had like 50 hits and was +2. Some fans are already predicting the Edmonton Oilers will win the Stanley Cup. Drew writes, since the Oilers are winning the Cup, can the hockey gods please be nice and let the Flames have Gavin McKenna, ah ha ha ha. Jose writes, that was the greatest game I've ever had. I'm sure Connor McDavid will win the Stanley Cup. Jan Arden writes, Edmonton all the way. One fan writes, that was Florida's game, series def over now. Oilers in 5. Another fan writes, Oilers winning cup, sigh. Prime Minister Mark Carney writes, time to bring the cup back to Canada. Doug Ford writes, tonight the Edmonton Oilers begin their battle for the Stanley Cup. It's time to bring it home for Canada. Mike writes, welp, that's it. The Edmonton Oilers will be winning the Stanley Cup. There's just no other way at this point. I am so confident I am putting 100,000 on it, and I suggest Drake follow suit for some easy money. One fan provides a different perspective, writing, everybody is going to say how the Oilers going to win the cup. Now relax. It was one game. Why don't you go ask all the Leafs fans how that went for them? One Canadian felt patriotism after the Oilers win, writing, feeling so patriotic now that the Oilers have won Game 1. So, what did you think of Game 1 between the Florida Panthers and Edmonton Oilers? Let me know in the comments section below. Like this video if you enjoyed watching and subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much.